Okay, so how many times have you heard someone say, pop music, it's so generic,
Yeah.
it all sounds the same.
Yeah, totally. I've heard that plenty of
But
times.
like secretly, we all have that one guilty pleasure pop song, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There's a reason pop music is so popular. It's like a global phenomenon.
Right.
So for this deep dive, we're going to unpack the secrets of its lasting appeal. And we've got this fascinating article about pop music that'll help us along the way.
Yeah, I think what's cool about this is even if you aren't like a self-proclaimed pop music enthusiast, understanding what makes it tick can actually reveal a lot about ourselves and what we crave as listeners.
Totally, yeah. And this article dives right into that. It starts with this idea that pop music is designed for accessibility. Like it's not trying to be complex or challenging. It's about creating something instantly enjoyable.
Yeah, it boils down to those catchy melodies and repetitive hooks, the kind that just worm their way into your brain and they just refuse to leave.
Totally. Like Baby Shark, right?
Oh, gosh.
I swear I had that stuck in my head for
Oh,
weeks.
I bet.
But like, jokes aside, is there actually a scientific reason for this?
There is. It's called the earworm phenomenon.
Okay.
And it's actually rooted in musical structure. So pop songs, they often use very simple chord progressions
Okay.
and predictable rhythms, which makes them easy for our brains to process and remember. Think of it like a puzzle. Like the simpler the pieces, the easier it is to put together and recall the image.
So it's like pop music is literally designed to fit perfectly into our brains.
Exactly. Like it's crafted for that. And this accessibility then contributes to its universal appeal.
Right.
You don't need any specialized knowledge or like a trained ear to enjoy it. It's like a shared language that transcends age and culture and background.
It's funny because when you think about some of the biggest pop hits, Despacito by Luis Fonsi, um, Gangnam Style by PSY, even Macarena, way back when they all had this incredible global reach.
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
even if you didn't understand the lyrics.
Exactly. It didn't even matter. And speaking of lyrics, the emotional connection that pop music creates is another key factor in its enduring appeal.
Right, like how Taylor Swift can just write a song about heartbreak and millions of people instantly relate, like even if their own experiences are totally different.
It's the power of tapping into universal themes. So things like love, loss, hope, longing.
Mhm.
Pop music distills these complex emotions into something that's relatable and, dare I say, even cathartic. Take Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License, for example.
Oh, yeah.
It resonated with so many listeners because it captured that raw intensity of like teenage heartbreak, which, let's be honest, most of us can relate to in some way.
Yeah, I think everyone's been there at some point.
Yeah.
And even when the lyrics are about something more fantastical, there's often that underlying emotional truth, like Katy Perry's Roar, for example.
Right.
It's about like finding your inner strength and fighting back. And who hasn't felt that need at some point, right?
Exactly. It's that emotional resonance that really forges a bond between the artist and the listener.
Yeah.
It's like the artist is giving a voice to our own feelings, even the ones that we might, struggle to articulate ourselves.
Okay, so we've got the catchy melodies, we've got the emotional connection. But this article also talks about escapism as a major factor in pop music's success. And this is something I honestly hadn't really considered before.
Yeah, pop music really offers that like temporary escape from the pressures and the complexities of everyday life. Think about it. Upbeat rhythms, catchy melodies, and even that like polished, glossy production
Mhm.
all contribute to this sense of like euphoria, right?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like those perfectly edited Instagram photos. Like
Yeah.
everything is bright, shiny, happy,
Right.
even if reality isn't always that way.
Exactly. Yeah, and sonically this gloss, it comes through in like layered vocals, perfectly timed synths, and a really crystal clear sound. It's almost like musical airbrushing, like they're creating this sonic landscape that feels vibrant and carefree.
So in a way, it's like pop music is like a mini vacation for our brains.
Exactly.
Like we get to step out of our own heads and into this world of pure sonic pleasure.
Precisely, yeah. Like it's a break from the mundane, it's a chance to dance and sing along and just let go of your worries.
Yeah. To have a good time.
Exactly. But here's the thing. While it offers that escape, pop music isn't static.
Right.
It's constantly evolving
Mm.
to stay relevant and to like reflect the times.
That's so true. I mean, like compare the pop music of today. Think Billie Eilish, Harry Styles, to what was popular like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
It's a whole different world.
Yeah.
And that's crucial to its longevity. Pop music isn't afraid to experiment, to borrow elements from other genres. It's like a chameleon, kind of adapting to the changing musical landscape,
Right.
but it's retaining that core essence of catchiness and emotional impact.
Yeah. I mean, we see this in how K-pop, for example, has just exploded onto the global scene.
Absolutely.
Or how artists like Lil Nas X are blending country and hip-hop influences into their music.
Right, all these different things coming together. It's great. So we've unpacked these 4 key elements of pop music's appeal: accessibility, emotional connection, escapism, and adaptability. But this raises a really interesting question. What's next for pop music?
Yeah, where's it going?
How will it continue to evolve?
Right, because with how technology's changing and, like, musical tastes are constantly evolving,
Yeah,
I can only imagine what pop music will sound like in 10, 20 years.
that's the beauty of it. Pop music really is a reflection of culture. And as culture changes, so too will the sounds, the lyrics, the entire aesthetic of pop.
Wow.
So I really encourage you, like, pay attention to the pop music you hear. See if you can spot these elements at play.
Yeah.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
Cool. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
Yeah, this is fun.